Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone, marching our way to the day you hand out a bunch of candy to a bunch of strangers. It's okay to tell the teenagers that haven't put on any outfits, they're just there like saying whatever or whatever, trick or treat or whatever. It's okay to tell them no. I do it. And I am ready to accept the responsibility. If they want to come back and give me the trick because I didn't give them a treat, this is your reminder. You don't have to give candy to the 15-year-old who shows up at your house at 9:45 after the light is off on the porch.
So the Kirrys are going to get egged and toilet papered late Friday night, and you're going to deserve it.
Here's the thing.
What's your deal?
Okay, I had this.
What's the line? Where do you draw the line on how old a kid can be to come trick or treat?
If they make effort, I give it to anybody. I give candy to anybody. When they show up at the door and they're like, just hand over the goods. It feels like a mild robbery.
It kind of is.
I know, but there's no smiles on their faces. They're like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Give me that. And you know what? I have a thing. I have a hierarchy of candy. All right?
Well, we all have that.
I'll give you the crap. I'll give you the stuff that I don't want. I'll give you the stuff I hate. Now, if you come to the door and you're
just have a big box of good and plenty and you start pouring.
Just grab handfuls of
Have you young kids ever tried black licorice before?
Grab handfuls and it's just bare candy with my bare hands. And
Everyone
I'm like, here you go.
talks about the best candy, like you say, the hierarchy. What's the worst candy?
For Halloween, you remember those peanut butter taffies, like that were just generic orange
peanut butter taffies. I remember them so well that I can't think of them.
I know, but it's like they were black. They're like black and orange, just like twisted up in like a wax paper.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
I vote for any banana flavored candy.
I think when you roll out raisins. Or even when you do, but if you try to I'm going to make it nice, though. I'm going to put chocolate-covered raisins over here.
Gross.
Even then,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we don't do that right now. But I will say the candy gets better and better every year. My kids come home with stuff, and I'm like, holy cow. Like, it was special when you got...
You're going to go trick-or-treating this year?
It was special. Remember when you'd get, maybe 2 Reese's peanut butter cups? That was like, wow.
Yeah.
Now, that's the baseline. People are like... Reese's peanut butter cups. That's where we start.
Well, they come in the minis now, which is great.
Yeah, but when you start getting the king size stuff.
Well, Costco's made it a lot easier and affordable for people to give out the full size.
You want to give me
full size candy bars?
Let me give you a tip.
And if you want to be the hero of Halloween,
yeah, but let me give you a tip.
You want to win your neighborhood?
Yeah, give her out the big ones.
Go all in on the full size candy bars.
But I will say this, and I'm 100% behind this. Because I've done it. I looked at Costco. I was looking, and then the other day I was at Sam's Club. Sam's Club, way better. They have, Costco only has the one bag of the chocolate stuff, one bag of the gummy stuff, and then the box of the full size candy bars. Those are your only options. Sam's had a million different options on the large size candy. Anyway, I'm just saying, if you're looking to get your last minute candy shopping done, I would say buy some stuff you don't like. Buy some stuff that for the medium people that you like, and then hand out the good stuff to the neighborhood kids that you're like, hey man, we like your family. I like your family. Tell you what I do, like your family. Here, take this. Boom.
There were some people in my neighborhood that one year they gave out 2-liter sodas.
Every time?
Yes.
That is hard to carry. That's hard to carry around.
One year they gave out full cereal boxes.
Now that's funny. Oh, you can go get the 10 for 10. It probably would work out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. We're just trying to, that's part of our PSA to start the show off here, just how to get your candy dialed up right for Thanksgiving, for Halloween.
Hey, you've got 24 hours. You better lock in.
Come on.
You better lock in. You got to be ready to go.
Get something decent like a king-size pillowcase for your kids so they can really fill it up, all right? We got tons to get to. Let's kick the show off. We've got tons of hockey to get to today. Why? Because this is the radio home of your Utah Mammoth, but also fresh conversation we're going to have here in a few minutes with Logan Cooley, the newest extended member now of the Utah Mammoth. We'll talk to him about his new contract and just about how, hey, Ryan Smith said it. You got to build it. You got to get yourself a house now, man. You're here. You're here. You're here forever. Come on. And just how awesome that process has been. And then we'll also get to Bear Tourigny on our normal weekly conversation with the head coach of the Mammoth as well. Let's kick the program off here, though, and let's get it going right with the cut, top of the hour. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth.com is the website. That's all you have to do. Go check it out for yourself, and you can get yourself on the track to retirement the right way. Okay. The back and forth that happens to be able to get these guys on the ice. Here's the thing is that I've noticed there are some differences with the NHL guys versus the NFL guys versus the NBA. Every league has their own collective bargaining agreement, and there are some things that are kind of like, hey, this is sort of the industry standard. They already do that over here. Let's push for that. And some things that are distinctions between the NFL, the NHL, and the NBA, for example, and even Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball has its own crazy stuff that they do. But the thing that I've noticed with hockey is like this: the contract always feels so much more secondary. These guys want to play hockey so freaking bad. Is that the vibe that you get too? Like, it's like, obviously these guys want to get paid, but at the same time, like that, and they go, hey, look, and of course I want to be here. I want to do this. I want to make the money. And there are people who are disgruntled some places. They really love being in other places. But it just seems like hockey takes, and the actual sport itself takes precedence. And they want to get these deals done, but they want to get them and so they can just get back onto the ice and play.
Yeah, I see that a little bit. You care. I think that hockey players and football players have a similar vibe because I think the more physical and demanding a sport is, I think it requires a different type of mentality. I think that you see that in the NBA, it's a different way of thinking, it's a different culture, and that's totally fine and great. But hockey has its own unique culture and way of thinking and way of doing things. And that's exactly the case. And I think that, yeah, you don't hear as much about lockouts and holdouts and forcing trades and all those kind of things that happen in the NBA or other leagues that you do in hockey. I mean, when does that happen? I'm sure it happens, but not very often. I mean, we've been following the Mammoth for 2 years now, and in our second year here, and I don't remember a case where a guy was trying to force himself out or was holding out or anything like that. Even with Logan Cooley having a contract situation, it was a little bit of a story, but it was never a DEFCON 5, oh my gosh, he's not going to re-sign here, he's not going to leave here kind of thing. And it feels like with the NBA, we're talking about that all the time. With the Utah Jazz, how often are we worried about whether a guy's going to sign here or be here long term? And we're new to hockey, we're new to the NHL specifically, and that doesn't seem to be in the same conversation or situation. So to your point, I think it's just a different culture and a different mentality. And a lot of those things get themselves taken care of and get done as opposed to where other sports are a little bit more different. And, I actually enjoy that the NBA is like that. I like the drama. I like the stuff that goes on. Right? I mean, the NBA is 24/7 drama.
Well,
I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong.
The NBA has an element of Hollywood built into it too, right? Like that's what it feels like.
They're more high-profile athletes.
Sure.
They don't wear helmets. They're not in a bunch of pads and stuff. You see the athlete more than any other game in basketball.
And you know which one
you see
the
everything
superstar
about
is.
the athlete, kind of like track and field, right? Like they stand out. They really do. And I think that plays a role in it too. And you combine that with the massive salaries in the NBA, then it's definitely prone to that. But the NHL is different, and that's okay. And the NBA is different, and that's okay. We see both here in Utah, so it's interesting to see the difference.
So as you look at as kind of how this team is shaped up so far, obviously the loss against the Oilers the other night, I think sent people like oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, this team, obviously they're not going to keep just winning. They'd won 7 in a row. This has been as hot of a start as I think as anybody could have anticipated. But here's the more important thing: out of the last few games, it's 6 goals, 4 goals, 7 goals, 6 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals. So this is a team that is scoring a lot more. Scoring is at a premium, obviously, in the NHL. But one of the things that this team did was they buckled down on the defensive side of the things. But when you look at what you're trying to get out of these guys, points, they got to get spread around, right? And you got to kind of keep some people happy there. Like, there are a lot of names on this roster that people love that aren't going to be a part of the quote-unquote rebuild. The rebuild is almost complete, but I'll tell you, over the next few years, it then becomes a very sticky situation of how to maintain a level of success with a salary cap, which, by the way, is just going to keep going up every year. The NHL is having historic numbers, historic revenues that they're going to have to start bumping up their salary cap on, which is great for the league. It's great for the players. And it's also a complicated situation. Ryan Smith brought up the other day at the press conference how much different the NHL and the NBA are. Asking somebody to stay for 8 years like Logan Cooley is not an easy thing to do. It's not unheard of, but this is the third richest contract out of a rookie deal that we've ever seen in this NHL, and you're going to see that happening more and more now.
Yeah. It's just different. You mentioned the length of the contracts in the NHL. Another reason, another example to your point earlier of how different this league is. You see at a maximum 4-year NBA contracts, and then extensions are negotiated. The long-term commitment of a hockey player to a market, to a team, to a fan base is pretty extraordinary when it comes to pro sports. You don't see it. Man, baseball, I guess, the big stars sign the big long-term deals, but they usually get traded 2 or 3 years into those things. I mean, I don't know how serious you take that. The NHL is quite different. These guys are really committed, and the process that these teams go under to try to build themselves into a winner is a long and lengthy process. There seems to be more patience in the NHL than other major sports as well that we've noticed when it comes to building championship rosters. So, yeah, it's different. But I love that the NHL has that type of a contract commitment because it allows fans to really latch on to these players. I mean, you can, if you're a Utah Mammoth fan, you can go over to the Delta Center on Sunday when they're hosting the Lightning and go purchase yourself a Logan Cooley jersey and know that you're most likely going to be able to wear that without any reservation for at least the next 8 years. And that's a good feeling because look what happened to the Jazz. I mean, what was the big feature of opening night?
Hand back all these jerseys of guys you don't want to see, you want to forget about.
All the old jerseys you have of guys that aren't here anymore, which is a lot.
Hey.
Go trade those in and get to know the new guys.
Did your ex-wife give you this ex-player's jersey? Flush it all down tonight. Come on in and swap that jersey out. It's interesting because I do wonder, though, as you start to look and see these guys, how long they're going to get signed up for how long they're going to be together. Think of Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley. Those guys are going to be together for, it was 8 years last year that you signed up.
Dylan Guenther signed the 8 year. Yep.
So they're going to be together for the next 7 years. That's a pretty decent bet on those two guys.
100%.
I don't have in front. Well, what was Dylan Guenther picked overall? Because I know that
it was a little later than Cooley.
Cooley was the third overall pick
like
a couple of years
7th or
ago.
8th?
Think about how quickly he's developed. He was a 2022 third overall draft pick. That in hockey years means he is exceptionally far down the line, right? Like that, right. He has come very, very far, very, very quickly, which is what you want out of draft picks. But at the same time, they almost plan for 3 or 4 years of development before. And then we're talking. The reason this is the third richest contract out of a rookie deal is because it takes them a minute to get good out of their rookie deal. So that's always to me a hard line to be able to go. All right, here's what you're going to get: 22-year-old Dylan Guenther, 21-year-old Logan Cooley. And those guys are going to be here for a long, long time. These are guys that were born in the early 2000s. Can you freaking believe it? Like how young these guys are. And yet they're some of the best in the world. Dylan Guenther, Clayton Keller, and Logan Cooley are guys that have the talent to be guys on their national team. You know what I mean? Like they are guys that can absolutely be part of world championships, Olympic medals, all those things. And they are on this team together. And that makes a difference. Look, ask Edmonton what it's like to have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the same freaking ice at the same time. Like it's world changing, and it gets you to the Stanley Cup Finals. It doesn't necessarily win them all the time, but you know what it does? It gets you further than you could get with anybody else. So I think they're hoping that type of development and the type of development they're going to get and the type of lines that Bear's going to be able to build over the next few years is going to be pretty interesting. Now, here's the heartbreak part. You're going to see some of these names that you love on these rosters, and they're not going to be here for 8 years.
That's the truth. Clayton Keller has 3 years left on his deal.
How long does he
including
stay?
this season.
Right.
He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2028-29.
At some point, you can't afford everybody, right?
And so at some point, younger players are going to emerge. All these young prospects and draft picks they have, eventually they're going to want to play. And the Utah Mammoth, they're going to want to play them. And they become cheaper than some of the vets. And just that's the reality of the league. That's how it's always been. That's how it operates. So you're going to see a churn, but you have most of the key players. Performanc has a 5-year contract. You have most of the top guys on this club. Vejmelka just got extended. They're going to be here long term. They're locked up. This club knows who they are. They know who they have. Barring some kind of crazy wild trade or some kind of shakeup like that, these guys in that locker room know they're going to be together for quite some time. And that's when special things can happen. You build the chemistry. You know how each other plays. They're just going to get better and better together. I can't imagine how much better the Mammoth are going to be in March and April when J.J. Peterka has almost 80 games under his belt with this crew. It's going to get better and better as the year goes on. And then you get to the end of this season, and who knows how far they can go. Right now, they look pretty good. They lead the Western Conference in points, tied with Colorado at 16 points. Yes, the Utah Mammoth in the first month of the season are at the top of the table. Mm-hmm. They're at the top of the standings in the NHL. That's a big deal. We'll see if they can sustain that. But right now, this looks like a playoff team. And they're going to go to the playoffs, and who knows how far they'll be able to go. We know that's always a crapshoot in the NHL, 1 through 8. There's so much parity. And we almost saw it last year with the Blues almost knocking off the Jets in round 1. But this group's going to get better and better and better. And then at the end of this year, they're going to go into the offseason, and they're going to realize, hey, I'll see you in September. You know they're going to be back, barring some kind of crazy wild trade. And I trust that Bill Armstrong's only going to make a move that makes this team better because he has that ability now.
Yeah, and I think, the more interesting thing for me is that these guys, one of the things that we kind of found out during this whole process is that, one, you're negotiating with a player and the owner is more involved than you typically see, right? And, you have representation that gets involved, and that starts to get – something that came out in this story was how cool it was that Ryan Smith was just like wants to talk with Logan Cooley and go – we love you having you here, man. And I know that the negotiation stuff's going on in the background, but we want to have you for a long, long, long time. And he basically just kind of like appealed to the side of, and we're right here with you. We're just going to be here right by your side. We want to pay you X amount of dollars. We want to pay you that the 8 years, $10 million a year. And before you say yes or not, regardless of what happens, and regardless of where we end up landing, congratulations, you've accomplished your, all these, this is an amazing dream that you were picturing happening when you were a 13-year-old. So he's like, regardless of where we end up, just before we get started down that road, congratulations. And I was like, that's a great way to do it. And you know what happened? Logan Cooley's like, oh, this is an owner who likes us. This is an owner who's not just likes it, he's involved. This is not just an owner who's involved. This is one of the most important things to him on the planet. And that means that this guy is. And he's made the decision to not just go, the term we keep using is all in, right? Not just from a money perspective. Like Ryan and Ashley Smith and Smith Entertainment Group are invested and all in on something deeper than just the name of the Mammoth or what all the stuff that goes along with it. It's the people that are involved in it. Have you learned anything about the Smiths yet? Community matters, family matters. These guys are part of family, and they like the people along the way that they make these relationships with. It's important to them. So the amount of perspective you get from an owner is phenomenal. So it's just it's just one of those crazy things.
Yeah, imagine the CEO of your company knows you're up for a raise or a contract negotiation, and he asks to go meet with you. And just sit down and not put the pressure on you to make decisions, but just try to get to know you better as a person. Does that happen out in the real world? Maybe.
Jerry Jones would be like,
I don't know.
Come to my lair. Come to my lair. I want to have a little.
That sounds a little creepy.
Come on into my lair. I want to have a discussion.
I promise you this.
with
I'm never stepping foot in anyone's lair.
Hey, Michael. It's me, Jerry. We love you, Michael.
Now, there's a contrast.
Right.
There's a contrast. How did Jerry Jones handle the Michael The Michael. I fell for his trick.
I got you.
Michael Parson.
Michael Parson.
How did he handle the Micah Parsons deal? Probably
Poorly.
not very well.
At some point along the way.
Probably not in the way that Ryan Smith handled the situation with Logan Cooley.
You know what Jerry Jones is? He's become, in a weird way, and almost just as creepy and maybe almost just as bad of a person. Not totally, but that Donald Sterling ownership of the Clippers, where it was just like the most important thing on the planet is I am the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. It had nothing to do with whether or not the Cowboys were good or the Clippers were good with Donald Sterling, right?
Right.
I don't think the Cowboys.
Jerry thinks it's about him.
I don't think he actually cares if the Cowboys are any good. He doesn't.
As long as he's getting the attention he wants and the money he wants.
And the franchise will always print money. There's nothing that can stop that thing rolling down the mountain now. So, all right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more to go on the program. Hang out with us here on a Thursday. We'll get you ready for all of your games for across the board. And, we're going to figure out if we're going to – we might actually be getting Logan Cooley on right now. So
we have a special guest on the line?
Maybe we'll get him on a little bit earlier.
Did you hear us talking about him?
Ears were burning.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he heard
we were talking about. Good thing we said good things.
Yeah. All right, joining us right now, the recently extended Logan Cooley on the program here with us from the Utah Mammoth. Logan, congrats, man. I bet it's been a week here for you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, it's kind of a crazy part of the year so far because you guys have jammed so many games in so far, and then you have this 4 or 5 day break, and at the front end of it, you sign yourself up for one of the biggest deals in team history. How's it been the last few days?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like you said, there's just you play a ton, and it's nice to get a little bit of a break now, and the contract is super special for me and my family, and to be a part of this organization is really cool.
Can you take us back? I read it, October 22nd, you had a meeting with Ryan Smith. What can you share with us about that meeting that helped you come to a conclusion on your contract?
Yeah, he's an unbelievable person, first and foremost, and just everything he's done for our organization and, the facilities, everything he's given us, it's special. And, we sat down, had a great talk, really helped me make my decision, and super happy with the way it played out.
As you look back at kind of what got you to this point of your career, obviously as a 21-year-old and you signed a big contract, I think there's a temptation for some people to feel like that they have, kind of arrived. Certainly there's a lot to get to where you go, oh, I've done so much and gotten to this point, and I'm sure you and your family have been celebrating over the last little while, but there's the part about wanting to get the wins. We watch you enough to see also that you always have this look on your face like the only thing that matters is that hockey game in that moment. How much more does this get you to the point where you go, yeah, I've already been an insane competitor. This is a great addition to it, but you want to win championships here in Utah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you play the game, is to win. And, we have a great group of guys. That's one of the, main reasons why I wanted to stay here. And I think we have a team that is ready to be in the playoffs and not only get to the playoffs, but win in the playoffs too. And, we're playing how we need to play right now. And I think if we continue to do that, we're going to have some, success.
Yeah, Logan, obviously you've been on fire lately, and it's helped contribute to this great start. What has been the difference in the great start so far? 16 points, you're tied with Colorado for the Western Conference lead. We all knew you guys would be good. I don't know if any of us expected you guys to be this good this early in the season. What's been the difference so far?
Yeah, I think just knowing that we could play with the top teams in the league, and I think everyone coming into camp had a lot more confidence in themselves and as a group too. I think, last year we took a good step of, wanting to play meaningful games. And I think this year is just, we're out of that rebuild stage and we're ready to, accomplish being in the playoffs and doing what we need to do to, win these games.
What do people not know about what life is like on the road in the NHL? And everyone always talks about how close the team gets, and I'm always like, well, that's funny because all these other leagues travel and have to go to games. But it seems like there's a little bit of a different vibe. You guys take very seriously going out on the road. Home ice isn't necessarily the scary thing that some of the home field advantages or home court advantages in other sports present. What have you guys been able to unlock as a team, like on the road, that gets it to where you guys can go into another barn and just go, we're just going to start scoring? And by the way, like start scoring immediately and not stop for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's obviously nice being home, playing in front of your fans, but you also get a little extra juice of being, on the road and kind of playing in front of different crowds, different arenas. And, I think we've kind of just embraced that part of the game. Everyone has to deal with, different crowds and different arenas playing on the road, but I don't think, the mindset for us changes too much.
I think the most important question I need to ask you is, now that you have this contract done, are you going to get chickens like your friend Mikhail?
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be my
You're not going to be
purchase.
chicken guy, huh? That's kind of disappointing. I mean, he's isn't he, he's doing a pretty good job with that, right? I mean,
Yeah, he is. I don't know.
Is he sharing the egg production with the team?
I think he does, actually. I haven't gotten any from him, but maybe I have to in the future here.
There you go.
He'll probably start charging you now. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I bet he will.
Logan, you got the advice from Ryan Smith to go out and get yourself a house and get those roots set down. Is that something you really would take seriously too? Be like, look, I'm going to be. It's not just a place you're going to land here for a couple months and then blast out of here. Is Utah going to be another home for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I'm not going to, focus on too much right now. I'll leave that for the off season and, the summertime to kind of think about things. But, for right now, it's, definitely something that I want to do and, I'm looking forward to doing. It's kind of when, you're looking for your first official house, and that's going to be exciting and something that, I'm definitely going to do here.
You talked a lot about some of the things that convinced you to sign this contract. Obviously, the players in the locker room, what Ryan and Ashley Smith have done, the commitment they've made. When you look at all that, like the new practice facility and all these things, what do people around the league say about what's going on here? Because I'm sure you talk to other guys, you're in other arenas. What's the conversation around the league about right now with Utah and what this organization is doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, even last year, guys come to the Delta Center, just how loud it is and the fan base and how, excited they were to come here and, play in front of, the fans here. And, I think just everyone knows how awesome of a guy, Ryan is and what he's willing to do to, bring a championship here. And like I said, he's given us so many resources, like the practice facility, everything we need to accomplish what we want. And, I think the whole league knows that and is really starting to pay attention to Utah.
Logan Cooley just got extended, of course, through these seasons 33 and 34, which sounds like it's super far in the future. But by then, we'll have already had some Winter Olympics played right here in the state of Utah.
Crazy.
Also, which that would be phenomenal, right? To see yourself on a Team USA playing in Salt Lake City in the arena that you play actual NHL games in as well. I mean, that's an extra added part of the dream. Do you ever think about things like that? I mean, 8 years down the line, you're going to be like the old guy veteran.
Part of your question, I kind of cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just asking about if the possibility of you playing in the Olympics in this arena in 2032, which is when they come to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Now, first and foremost, it's, a huge honor to represent your country and wear that USA jersey and come to Utah and to be able to play in a place that you're familiar with and, know everything. I think, it'd honestly be a little bit of an advantage too, but, it definitely would be a dream come true.
Logan Cooley. Logan, we appreciate you taking some time. We're going to chat with your coach in a few minutes here. We'll tell him that you're a great interview as well. We'll make him live up to it as well. But congrats, man. Thanks for being a part of the program. We'll chat with you again.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Congrats, Logan. Thank you.
Logan Cooley, everybody. I mean, life's coming 1,000 miles an hour for that guy, and it's not stopping.
He should try the chickens.
I love how he laughed it off like, that's not even, come on. He's probably going to move.
If Mikhail Sergachev is listening, talk to your boy Cools.
Yeah, hey.
Convince him.
Well, he says your egg production is not that great and you haven't given him any, so show up. You have to get those eggs to him. All right. What do you think he's looking for houses? Hooper?
Hey, there's some nice developments going on
I
up there. I was out that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Last week.
You talk about chickens.
I was in Taylor.
Other cities I never even knew existed. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner here when we return. Like I said, Bear Tourigny is going to join us the 4 o'clock hour, just right at the top of the hour. So stay right here with us. More to go. Stay tuned in. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The Utes get set for another huge Big 12 game as they square off against Cincinnati. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
There it is. Good for you. Our producer, Alex Napolis, going the extra mile here to make you feel comfortable on the hot and cold segment here with some Kat Perry.
She's the first lady of Canada now.
Oh, my. That is so weird. Prep for winter. Your hot and cold segment brought to you by the folks at Enbridge Gas. Get a furnace inspection by a certified heating contractor today. Just check for that safety and efficiency. Make sure your system's running awesome. And you're saving money, and you're also staying safe in your house. A reminder from Enbridge Gas. There you go. Hot and cold segment here. I've got, guessing on who's going to be hot the rest of the way, who's going to be cold the rest of the way. I've got a fun one here for you. I wanted to bring this up with you because Joel Klatt put his college football playoff predictions out there. Now I thought, we're gonna get a college football playoff prediction for the first rankings that are coming out next Tuesday. No, he's just like, I'm going all in. I'm going to go all the way to the end here. And the Big 12, according to Joel Klatt, is only worthy of one team in the playoff. Here's what he says about it. Here are the conference championship matchups, according to Joel Klatt. Ohio State beating Indiana in the Big 10. Texas A&M beating Alabama. That's chalk so far with the rankings at least. And then Texas Tech beating BYU in the Big 12 championship game. So there's your power for. Wait, hold on a minute. I'm skipping the ACC championship game where he's got Miami beating Georgia Tech. Fine, whatever. Every one of those champions, of course, goes straight to the college football playoff. Now the question is, what do you do with those guys who lost the college football playoff? In Joel Klatt's case, he's making the case for, or not making the case. Obviously, Indiana losing to Ohio State, I think we all agree, would definitely be a team that should be in the college football playoff if that's their only loss of the year. If they lose a couple before then we might change our minds. But Texas A&M beating Alabama in the Big 12 or in the SEC championship game, and then Alabama getting in as a second team, I don't think anybody has a problem with. It's the third, fourth, and fifth teams, and I'm not joking about third, fourth, and fifth teams when I say that about the SEC, because there are so many scenarios where they have 4 teams and sometimes even 5 on that list. However, his first rankings have Texas Tech being ranked 7th in the college football playoff ranking at the very end of the season. And he has them beating BYU in the Big 12 championship, which puts them as a 7 seed, which has them playing a 10 seed in the first round. Great. That would be a phenomenal result for Texas Tech. There are a lot of hurdles to clear before that. There's also teams like Cincinnati and even freaking Houston.
Right.
And Alex Napolis and I went through some scenarios. There are scenarios where Utah makes the Big 12 championship game. And if they win that Big 12 championship game, all bets are off. They go straight, they pass go, they collect $200 on their way to the college football playoff. And it's not that crazy of a stretch because Cincinnati losing 2 games would probably need to happen. Texas Tech losing 2 games would need to happen. 3, actually. They could.
Texas Tech has to lose 3.
However, if they just lose 2, that could be the team that they face in the college football playoff.
But they would need BYU
not the
also
college football
lose
playoff.
3 conference games.
So they would have to have some help there. And we looked and we went through. There's a predictor. What is it? What is it you kids use? Flow chart.
Wow.
Yeah. Venn diagrams and flow charts.
I've never used a flow chart before. I'm old.
Venn diagrams and flow charts. That's what got us to the possibility of Utah getting there. Now, Joel Klatt gives the example of, Texas Tech beating BYU twice. But BYU would lose out to Notre Dame on getting that last bid because a 2-loss Notre Dame and a 2-loss BYU team, despite the fact that the 2 losses would be both to Texas Tech, one of them in a conference championship game, would actually ding the Cougars more. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are that's an inherent bias that exists in college football.
Is the Big 12
that you're going to be up against because there's just always this give Notre Dame the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, the excuse he gave him
Notre Dame's 10-game win streak will be built on the backs of the bruised. The garbage schedule they have. Yes, they played Texas A&M and Miami early in the season.
They lost to
and
both of them.
lost.
Yeah.
Who have they played since?
USC. Big win.
Wow.
Stanford?
Wow.
That's coming up, right?
Keep going.
All the military academies or just a couple of them?
All the military academies?
That's what I'm asking. Like,
does Georgia Tech count as a military academy for them? I don't even think they're playing them. They don't.
Okay,
they're playing
no.
Boston College.
No, it'd be great if they played Texas.
Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford.
Did they play Army already, or did they play Air Force?
They're not playing anyone else other than Navy this year.
Okay.
So they have their best win right now. I'm serious about this.
Will be Navy.
Their best win is probably Boise State, unless you want to count USC as their better win.
No, USC's a better win, but
not by much.
Like Navy is going to be a fake. Oh, we beat an undefeated team too, right? They're going to use that one as well.
Of course they are.
Oh,
it's in South Bend too.
Here's the thing, though. But ask yourself: is a second place Big 12 team a better option than a 2-loss Notre Dame team?
Yes. More battle-tested, tougher schedule, 100%.
You're a TV guy. You see the reasoning why they'd pick them, though, right?
I know why they're picking Notre Dame. I just talked about the inherent bias.
I know. And I don't necessarily disagree.
The Notre Dame following is massive. There's a reason why NBC has their own independent football contract because those games are very valuable to NBC and have been for a long, long time. I get all that. But you're supposed to be picking the best teams. And by any metric other than TV ratings, Notre Dame is not going to be the best team in that scenario. They're not, but they're going to get picked, and they're going to be in. If Notre Dame wins out, they're going to be in the college football playoff at 10-2. And that should absolutely anger a lot of people because they're not going to be worthy of it.
All right. Now, on a funner note, on one of the predictors, CBS Sports actually today, their college football playoff prediction and bowl prediction that they do, their projections that they have are number 7 seeded BYU hosting number 10 Notre Dame down at LaVell Edwards Stadium.
That I like.
Oh, now suddenly you're a big Notre Dame guy. Get him in the playoff. They had a pretty tough schedule.
Hey, Notre Dame owes BYU a return trip to Provo.
They do. They can't get out of that
BYU
one.
BYU finally figured it out.
I watched Notre Dame be like, what if we paid you a couple $1 million and we played this at a neutral site? Our guys don't want to have their fingers fall off.
Can you imagine Notre Dame trying to brush BYU about moving the
college football playoff game?
Yeah,
right,
we're not coming to Provo ever.
We have more to go around the corner. When we return, I've got a Would You Rather. We're also anticipating Bear Tourigny going to join us, the coach of the Mammoth, top of the hour. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The average American family is going to spend about $39 this year on candy.
Sounds dumb.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That's a couple of the big bags of candy at, like, the Price Club. Here's my question.
Our friends at Nestle have pulled off a coup here, convincing this country that they have to give away candy
Hershey
once a year.
Yeah. Although I saw the other day that I was looking at the back of a Butterfinger. This is what I do with my life. Looking at the back of a Butterfinger. Ferrero Rocher owns it now.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know we got acquired by...
Not following candy mergers as close as I should.
You need to be.
I should know that information.
The same people making Nutella are the same people that are shoving the Butterfingers down your old pie hole.
I have an idea. Put Nutella in a Butterfinger.
I could see the confab happening. All right. They do have the marshmallow-covered Butterfinger inexplicably this year. I'm not aware of that. People. JJ, would you rather have, like, the walker, the traditional, like, they're coming to your door, they're knocking on the door, blah, 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 you're handing out the candy every 3.2 minutes on average from, 5:30 till about 9 p.m., or you do the thing where you go, hey, so-and-so's having a Halloween party. Turn out all the lights, you go to that Halloween party, but your kids don't get to trick-or-treat through your neighborhood.
What?
I'm saying, would you rather just, like, not be handing out the candy? Or
I don't want to hand out the candy, and I don't want to take my kids out. I'm what you call a Halloween Scrooge.
Dad of the year over here, everybody.
Not so much.
All right. Let's take a break here. We'll come back.
Sorry, fans.
Bear Tourigny is going to join us next, the head coach of the Utah Mammoth. We've got tons more around the corner. Prep for winter. Or no, that was the last one. Hey, it's the KSL Sports Zone hooking you up for tickets on our Saturday's Utah-Cincinnati game. Every hour on Friday, the Utah keyword we're going to be giving out. You do not want to miss it. So when you hear it, you're going to be texting in to 57500 for your chance to win. The keywords, we're going to be handing those things out. So Utah-Cincinnati tickets all day Friday on the KSL Sports Zone. Don't miss it. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. More to go. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being a part of the program today. We always appreciate it. You can download the podcast wherever podcasts are found. We love that you participate in the show that way. Our show, as always, this hour brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. We just got off of the horn a couple of minutes ago with newly extended member of the Utah Mammoth, Logan Cooley. He gets that contract, and I think that's probably a sigh of relief for a lot of people in the front office, and also his head coach, Bear Tourigny, who joins us for his weekly dial-up for us to be able to get to see what's going on with the team on the inside. Coach Bear, how are you?
Very good. What about you guys?
Oh, we're good. We just got off the phone with pretty happy Logan Cooley as well, who told us that Mikhail Sergachev has not brought him any eggs from his chicken coop. Has he brought any to you yet?
Not yet.
Come on.
We've been on the road. We've been on the road a lot. We need to give him a chance, guys.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? They're chock full now, probably now. They've been on the road.
He's probably overloaded. Trust me, he's going to bring some here before the game Sunday. I guarantee you that.
There you go.
Coach, what a run this has been for you guys. I know you came up on short in Edmonton, but this has been phenomenal. Just as a coach, how rewarding has this swing been for you guys? Not an easy slate with all those road games, but your guys delivered.
Yeah, it was actually a game in 6 nights and a lot of traveling, and a really tough opponent. But the boys played really well. They played their heart off, and they found a way. We won 3 out of 4, which was really good. Obviously, we wanted to have the last one against Edmonton, but all in all, it was a really good trip. I think really happy about how the guys played.
One of the things I noticed in the game the other night, in a lot of these games, the quick starts have been key to this, and being able to put pressure on defense and then opening up things on the offense. It just the fast breaks, so to speak, that end up happening out of those great defensive stands by your team. How impressive you've been with what the blue line has been able to do to help the guys score on the other end.
I think it's always a matter of being connected. It's 5 guys connected. it's not the game you can play only your defense or only your forwards. In the offense, you need your D to chip in. You need to play as a unit of 5. And the same thing defensively. You cannot expect your D to shut down an opponent without having the support of the forward. So it's everything is as a unit of 5, and that's offensively our D did a good job, like you mentioned, to support the rush and to make good play in the O-zone.
Yeah, we were so happy for Logan Cooley, and Mammoth fans are so excited that he's going to be a part of this franchise for a long, long time. And I can only imagine how excited you are. But man, was he good on that trip? What did he do to get? It's not just this trip, but all year long he has a knack for scoring goals and early in these games.
Yeah, first of all he has a level of maturity this year who's grew a lot. You can see as a person, as a young man. I think that maturity helped him to probably in his preparation and everything. But he started his game on time, and he's on puck as a line, not just him, as his two partners, JJ and Gunnar as well. I think they had a really good start. They got on our opponent early, and obviously they needed to be opportunistic, and then they were. So they gave us momentum in a lot of games.
Coach JJ Peterka, you mentioned him. He's a guy who he's steady, and he's also one of those guys that, those goals are just going to keep coming. But it seems like every time, if he's open and that puck is on the end of his stick, that he puts that thing in the back of the net more often than not. What has he brought to your team so far?
Yeah, his level of skill, his shot, his IQ, his vision on the ice. He can find his partner. I think those three guys together, they see each other and they move the puck to each other. Their support is really good. So obviously, there's always stuff you're looking at and area of the game can be better. But we're really pleased about the pace they're playing, the speed they're playing, and they're capable of making play at that high speed. So that's really good.
I don't think a lot of hockey experts, national hockey media, thought Nick Schmaltz would lead the NHL in points at this point, but he has. What has he done, and what is it about him that's allowed him to take his game to another level this season?
Yeah, I think there's a combination of things. I think, first of all, the team's playing well. So now the offense is coming from a little bit everywhere. We're tougher to cover. That opened up space for a player like him. But the way he plays since the start of the season, the number of battles he win, the number of time he get inside and get prime time scoring chance, either by deflection or shot from the slot, I think that's elite. And you need to have a really high IQ to be able to find those space in between coverage in the slot and stuff like that. So did a really good job at doing those things. And as well, I think his play both sides of the puck is really, really good since the start of the season.
I'm sure you guys love the opportunity for a couple of days. I say off, but the reality is you guys don't really take any days off. But I mean, like, to not have games, night after night, which it seemed like it was coming at you guys like so much on the road there, and then suddenly you take a few days off. Is there a part where you go, okay, we got to make sure, guys, you got to stay sharp. When you have a few days off, you got to stay sharp, but also balance that out with the rest. How do you approach the team with that?
Yeah, that's first of all, you need to trust the guys. They're professional. They've been there before. It's not like we need to tell them what's the schedule and all those stuff. They know. So, but at the same time, the opportunity to have a good rest during the season, will be really few and apart. So that's an opportunity. The other thing is we have stuff we can address as a team and can take advantage to get better, which we did today. So I like what we accomplished today. I like the focus of the guys and what they showed up to get better today. So I'm really happy about that. And then it will be the game against Tampa on Sunday, which the guy will be fully aware of. We had a few days off, few days between games, but at the same time, we'll be excited to get back at it. And right away after, we're going on the road for a tough road trip, a 4-game and 6 nights again. So I think we appreciate the little break, but at the same time, we stay urgent.
The amount of depth you guys have this year has been really on display, and obviously we're seeing internal development help with that as well. But you added Peterka, and you look at your lines, you got Schmaltz, Hayton, and Keller, and then you can go to Peterka, Cooley, and Gunther. For some of our listeners who aren't as familiar with hockey, what goes into your decisions on who to pair together on those lines? What goes into your decision making before the season or during the season to build those lines?
Well, first of all, the eight, Schmaltzy and Keller have a chemistry together for years. It's not just since training camp or what happened this summer. They like to play each other. They see each other. They make play together. So that was an easy one. And Gunnar and Cools play together a lot since they're with our team. They see each other. The chemistry was already there. So when we acquired JJ, the logic was to put him with Cools and Gunnar because he can play with them, can skate with them. And Cools and Gunnar, these two guys who go to the net, and JJ in his profile in the past was a guy who had a good inside game. So we knew we could share the responsibility on that line to do that kind of a job. So that was the rationale. There was nothing really science. I didn't need to go in the lab for long for that one. That was just a common sense. But, you know, there's more than that in our team. We often not talk enough about Stanny's line and the work he does in the PK and the energy guys like Tanev and Obi or Yami brings to the team. And it's the same thing for Banner's line. If you look their expected goal share, they have a lot of really good night where they generate a lot of offense. The puck did not go in yet for them, but the physicality, the intensity they bring, that open up space as well. You ask me sometimes about the Peterka or the Schmaltz, but that's the work of a lot of stuff. When you go against, like I said, the Banner's line or the Stanley's line, and they wear you down, they hit you, they get on the forecheck, they bring momentum and intensity in the game. That open up space and hold on the next play for the other line. So I think it's a combination. You need to have a little bit of everything in your team. If you have only one style of lines or players, you become predictable and then easier to play against. The way our team is built, it's really a four-line team who can hit you from different angles.
Coach, Dmitry Simachev, speaking of guys who are really young on your team, he's one of the youngest, and he's one of these guys that's shown just absolute crazy flashes for a young guy, and he's talented. He's looking for his first points there, but what have you been impressed with him so far? Obviously, making the roster is not just like a little like consolation for people. They make the roster because they can actually they make their contributions to the team. What have you liked about what Simachev's been able to do and give you as that young kid on the defense?
What I like about Sima is really professional. He's focused. He has urgency every day. He has a level of consistency for a young kid like him who's really good. I think is the offensive part of the game is not his first tool. It's what he does really well. He can defend, he can shut down, he can skate with anybody in the league. He can play in your fight style of hockey. So that helped a lot. Our team in playing with Tourigny, playing as a top player on the other side and being able to close quickly and take their confidence away. So that's what he does really well.
What does it mean to you for a coach to have the, I guess the word I'm looking for is the continuity with roster? Because this Cooley signing gives you a lot of continuity moving forward with some of your best players. You look at this roster, you know who these guys are going to be. You know they're going to be here for a while. As a head coach, how does that impact you and what you do and your comfort here with this team?
What I like a lot is earlier you asked me about Schmaltzy, Keller, and Ace. I told you they played together for a long time, and now they don't have to even talk to each other. They just look at each other and they know what the other guys mean. And they know exactly where he will be and stuff like that. And I told you about Cooley and Gunnar. They're building that, and they're really pretty good. They're already pretty good at it. They read off each other so easily. And now with JJ in the pack, same thing when you have Boehner and Crosser played together for a long time now. The chemistry is built over time. So having a duo like Gunnar and Cools who are with us for long term, locked on long term, I think you look at it and say, okay, that chemistry, that growth, that knowledge of each other, will just keep growing and help our team moving forward.
Bear Tourigny is the head coach of the Utah Mammoth. He joins us every week right here on your radio home of the Utah Mammoth, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Coach, looking forward to Sunday. Have fun against Tampa Bay this weekend, and then we'll see you. Also, we'll catch up with you next week on that long road trip.
Thank you for having me, boys. Talk next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
There's the coach. I mean, that's as consistent of a dude as you can get, right? Like,
No, that's what you have to have in that position.
not high, not low.
Yeah.
Right? He just is. It's exactly, I think. I mean, what a good combo with Bill Armstrong and that front office who just is, doing their darndest to get the best version of this team out there on the ice, and then this guy
And that's what they're getting.
puts it all together. Yeah, it's just it's really fun to watch so far. Anyway, man, lots of Mammoth this hour. I love it.
It's great to have them on the air.
I know,
And
chatting about all this stuff.
For
Crazy.
you listening, I know a lot of you are new to the Mammoth. Some of you may be longtime NHL people, but obviously embracing this team now that they've moved here. It's in other sports, it's not common to have this kind of access to the head coach on a weekly basis, or when a player signs an extension for them to come on the air here. We're very fortunate to be able to hear from them. They're willing to come on and talk about these things each and every week. Or when something big happens, they're available and accessible. This is for you, the fans, you listening. This is for you. And to be able to have Bear come on every week and educate us more about the game. I'm learning a lot by just having conversations with Bear Tourigny about what he thinks about, what he wants to accomplish, with the culture he's set up with that team, to some of the strategy and the scheme that they do with why I just asked him what goes into why you build the lines the way you do. Longtime hockey people are like, duh. But for some that are new to it, like, okay, why those three? And you're learning from this. And he's able to come on here and explain it to you. Somebody who's coaching at the highest level of the sport. I'm learning a lot, and it's really interesting and intriguing to listen each and every week to the insights that we're given and learning more about how this sport is played at the highest level. It's really fun.
Let's take a. Oh no, we're not taking a break. We're still going here. I was thinking about this though because we were chatting with Bear about it, and I think that it's more all the things that he's answering the questions with. It's a great way to approach it. It's more complicated than he's, I think, leading on, right?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean,
it's like, oh yeah,
not anybody can walk in there with a grease board and throw all this stuff together. No, there's a lot of experience that comes into this. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of time spent in the film room that we don't know about. But he simplifies it when he explains it, that's the key to a great coach. It's just like a teacher, right?
Right.
If you're in a classroom and you have a teacher that understands how to take complex things and be able to teach it to you in a simple way, you're going to understand it better. Same thing with a head coach. We've seen coaches sometimes get, a little too caught up in the minutia of things, and things can get lost, and it doesn't always work out for some guys. When you have a coach that can simplify things that are complicated, you're going to be more successful, and he seems to be doing that with this club. He keeps things pretty simple.
It's also been interesting to watch, because it's going to be such a weird schedule too. They come home for one game against Tampa Bay, and then they go back out on the road again.
When you think about it, and it doesn't end there. It goes into December of this brutal road stuff that they're having to go through.
It's an Olympic year, and so everything gets kind of compacted and weird. But at the same time, they're having like 4 or 5 days off in a row that they've had after that long road trip. And then they come home for one game, and then they go right back out again. And so it's interesting to kind of watch.
Guess what's coming? A 4-game road trip to Buffalo, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. They come home for 2 games against the Sabres and the Islanders, but then they're back on the road again to Anaheim and San Jose. I know it's just California, but there's just not a lot of rest for this team, and fans aren't getting a chance to see a lot of home games right now.
Yeah.
While they're hot.
The back end of the schedule is very home happy, though.
Oh, big time.
So I think there's going to be a lot of that to be able to. But you just hope that they get to the spot where they're, still in that race by the very, very end of it, and
Yeah, January and February they're home a lot.
Now that we're veterans of having an NHL team here, if you're Ryan Smith, which one's your real baby? Because any parent who says that they don't have a favorite child, they're lying.
Oh, you're going to ask Ryan Smith to make a Sophie's choice?
Yeah.
He has to pick between the Jazz or the Mammoth?
Yeah. It's just like, I do this with my kids. I'm like, whoever's winning.
Do you have a favorite?
100%.
Are you willing to say that over the air?
100%.
Okay.
My first daughter is number one. Always.
All right. It's usually the daughter.
Well, yeah. And guess what she brought home yesterday, too? Perfect grades, right? Gets on the honor roll, like no big deal. It's like amazing citizenship, right? And she's just like, oh, yeah, no big deal. She doesn't rub it in anybody's faces.
Kind of wish she'd flip somebody off just to know she's human.
Quinn, you're the best daughter, and you know it. Well, we have this thing. My kids gave my wife this thing. It's actually awful. It's got all their pictures on a board, and they're all Velcro, and it's 1 through 7.
You have a hierarchy?
Yeah, we have a. I told the kids it's a living list. You can always move up.
You're rating your kids like you would rate Halloween candy?
You can always move up.
Oh,
you can always move up.
Gosh.
So when like when my oldest gets home and he's late, I'm already like moving it down. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You're home.
I
down here,
guess which
7.
one of your kids is stuck in the basement.
Sometimes he is, but
you just gave it away.
Sometimes he is. No.
Sometimes he is.
I mean, it's just look. If you make my life easier, you're going up the board. You know what I mean?
Well, when you got 7 kids, you can have a hierarchy.
I would assume that Ryan Smith is going to be the same way. And you know what he does? Oh, just tell Danny and Austin Ainge and Coach Hardy, hey, I'll move you up the list right now. But right now, these Mammoth are kind of cool. Like they're pretty awesome.
Look, I mean the Jazz have been an interesting start. They lost last night.
An interesting start.
No, I mean much more interesting than we thought.
Last night's a perfect game. You come back, no.
They gave themselves a chance. They rallied, came back, and made it close again.
You see how pissed Will Hardy was, though?
Yeah.
Like, that defense is atrocious.
It was bad for 3 quarters. There's no doubt about it.
So bad.
That's why this team is probably not going to win more than 25 games. But, I mean, it's pretty clear to me, like, Ryan Smith is probably really, like, into the Mammoth right now because they're 8-3. They're hot right now. He's going on ESPN and talking about him.
But he's also a basketball guy.
I mean, ESPN's broadcasting Mammoth games this year.
But Ryan Smith is a basketball guy. He's become a hockey guy, but like basketball is his love, right? And so
sure,
the Jazz are going to be, they're the OGs. Mammoth are like the new shiny thing that you have to like, man. But they cost a lot of money. They're the daughter,
it's
right?
It's easy to fall in love with the new thing too. There's no baggage there. The Jazz have a lot of baggage.
Yeah. The Jazz of the teenagers.
The Mammoth don't have any.
The Jazz of the teenagers showing up late after curfew. And you're like, I love you, but you're kind of pissing me off down here.
Dude, get a job or go to college. Do something. What are you doing?
Come on.
What are we doing here? The Mammoth, they're your straight A student. They're at the top of the table.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100%.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, they came home after that road trip with the perfect grades.
The Jazz are like the teenager that doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. He just wants to hang out with his friends.
Quit bothering me, Dad. I'm playing video games. All right. Hey, guess what? We got a pair of tickets, speaking of the Utah Mammoth. Right now, a pair of tickets for you to be able to win just by calling us up. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-9663. You get a pair of tickets to see the Mammoth and the Lightning. They're coming to town on Sunday on the 2nd of November. Can you believe we're in November already? All you have to do is give us a call to win those tickets. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. We've got to roll out our winner of this week's Hercules Hero of the Week. And then we've got some sound for you from Utah's practice with the offensive coordinator, Jason Beck of the Utes. See what they can do to turn that corner on the 53-point outpouring last week and how they can add to it against Cincinnati this week. Stay with us, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a much-needed off week for the Cougars as they rest up for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone. This song's confusing to me because it's not a Michael Jackson song, but he sings the chorus
Right.
as like a favor to like a record executive whose kid is singing the song.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
That's quite a story.
Not
that is
a nice
nepotism
a nice little boost
at its
there.
finest. My goodness. I couldn't even tell you who sings that song.
Well, I mean, obviously that part sounds like Michael Jackson, right?
Well, I know that. But
uncredited.
Who's the artist that sucks?
Yeah, Rockwell.
Rockwell. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Rockwell.
Oh, beyond. Like it's not even a one-hit wonder. It's because Michael Jackson's voice is on the back of that. Oh yeah. For sure it's a Halloween classic. All thanks to the fact that Michael Jackson sang that song and he did it uncredited.
It's Barry Gordy's son.
Yes, told you.
Okay. So yeah, favor. It's the dude who founded Motown. That's a little more. That's okay.
But you see what
I
I'm
didn't
saying
know
here?
that Rockwell was the son of Barry Gordy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
hey, King of Pop, could you do me a little favor? Yeah, anything you need.
Oh my gosh. Hey.
What? That was what? That was pretty good. Yeah, anything you need. What? I mean, that's pretty close. Yeah, Barry, what do you need? Why am I? Stop. I'm not doing a hee-hee, okay? Nope, not doing it. I'm not doing a hee-hee. All
No
right?
hee-hees?
No. Get out of here. That's as much as you're going to get.
Not going to moonwalk and grab your crotch? I dare you. We have cameras in here.
Yeah, Barry, what do you need? All right. You know my son Craig, right? Well, he's got a little group he's got together. We're calling it Rockwell.
His son Craig. He has a name. His name is Kennedy.
Sorry.
Kennedy William Gordy.
The last time it'll ever be mentioned again in this program. No, now you know the story. And now you know the rest of the story.
Everybody learned something today.
Yeah, I told you it's a wild story. Somebody talked to me about it years ago, and I was like, yeah, I wondered, isn't that a Michael Jackson song? They're like, oh no, it's not. In fact, you won't find his name attached to it ever, except for the fact that it's him singing the song. But yeah, uncredited. Let me see here. Hey, it's that time of the week for us to be able to get into your Hercules Hero of the Week. How do you get the Hercules Hero of the Week winner? Well, you nominate your youth sports volunteer in your neighborhood who does an awesome job, and we recognize those folks with the Hercules Hero of the Week program brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. This week winner is Kevin Whips. Kevin was nominated by Tiffany Davis. Here's what it says, courtesy of Tiffany in her nomination of Kevin. Kevin is the coach of my daughter's 4th grade junior jazz league team. Went out of his way to make sure all the kids felt included. We're learning and improving throughout the year. And even though they're very different skill levels from the first-time kids who came out and played since kindergarten, he was a model coach and planned out practices, taking time with each of these kids, making sure they felt included and supported. He's also been a great help helping my daughter feel encouraged as it was her first year, and it was all new. On the last day of practice, he arranged a scrimmage between parents and the kids and gave each kid a few extra chances on the rebounds to make sure each kid scored a hoop. Like that is top-tier coaching from just another dad on the team. He inspired me to volunteer for my son's league coming up because it was just such a good leader, gave me the advice to help lift kids up as their coach. So congrats to Kevin Whips, who wins a prize from Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals, who are the great sponsors of this program. So there you go. You can nominate the youth sports volunteer you know by going to kslsports.com/contests, and we can honor them right here in this very program. So there you go. Congrats to Kevin Whips. JJ, Utah's got a challenge this weekend as Cincinnati comes to town. This is by far, I mean, I know that Coach Whittingham would say, well, every game in front of us is the most important game, but this one has all sorts of implications now. As the week has gone on, it's becoming more and more evident how big of a deal this game is going to be because number 17 Cincinnati comes in. Game day is going to be there. All eyes are on you. Utah has a chance to build off what they did the last. Look, don't look now, but they lost 5 of their first 5 games in conference play at home at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and now, of course, they've run it up the past 2 games on their opponents scoring 95 points over those 2 games and absolutely sticking it to Colorado and Arizona State. Cincinnati could find themselves very well in that same spot. I'm going to say something about Utah. So all the metrics will say this. Any person who follows, okay, here's the little tiny bit of this and that get you to a national championship. I'm not joking when I say this. They put these together, and if you're not a top 10 in total offense and points per game on offense, and also in the top 10 of total defense and points per game defense, you're not going to win a national championship. Out of the last 20, it's 16 are in those 2 categories. There's only 5 teams in the country that are in there, and Utah's one of them. Utah has a phenomenal offense right now. They're killing it on the defensive side of things. Things are humming right now for Jason Beck and his offense. But Utah is at the top of the table in a lot of these categories, including in total offense, points per game. The differential that you win your games also is part of that same deal. And part of that is that if you score a lot of points, but you're also not giving up very many, that goes without saying you're going to win a lot of games. Utah's offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, this week talked to the media about how they've improved week on week and just what they're doing to plan for this Bearcats team who comes into town into Rice-Eccles on Saturday for a huge one.
Yeah, he took a lot of the reps Tuesday, Wednesday, and did a really nice job. We've been fortunate that we've been able to get him in games quite a bit leading up to this point to help, just in his development and getting ready. And he's made the most of all those opportunities and just kind of continued to build on it and play well. So, really happy for him.
Has anything surprised you just how early he's kind of been able to take on the offense, take on a leadership role in this offense as a true freshman?
I don't know. I didn't kind of have any expectations, and just it took its kind of natural course. Started in spring with minimal opportunities, and he'd get in there and do some nice things, and it's just slowly kind of grown over time. Really didn't know how good he was until those opportunities to be live would come, and he'd just make things happen and continue to do that in the game. And so he's just been really consistent with playing well and doing a really nice job to earn more trust and more opportunity, and he's made the most of it along the way.
When you have a quarterback injury, how does that change your approach to game planning, or because they have similar skill sets, does it change at all?
That's been the thing with Bird, is he kind of fits our offense right now, both in terms of what Devin does, but also in terms of what's best for our team. And that is a run first approach, a running quarterback, adding the numbers. And so he's kind of provided being a natural backup that way, and it's played to his skill sets. So it hasn't, there's a minor things of being lefty and working some things that way, but otherwise, it's allowed it to kind of transition pretty seamlessly.
How would you assess the throw game so far? I mean, there's been games like the West Virginia one where it was very pass heavy, but then there's been other games, like Arizona State and even last week where it wasn't as throw heavy. But overall, how would you assess the passing attack?
Even coming into the year, that was one of the bigger unknowns of what would emerge in that room and who the targets would be, and that started to play out. It's still a little inconsistent outside of RD, Dallin, JJ. To a point, those three have all done a really nice job week in, week out, and then it's been that next person up. What's their role? How are they contributing? What can we count on? And so it was nice to see Larry had some big plays this past weekend that helped move the chains and score points, and he did a really nice job stepping into a little bigger role and making the most of it. And so we'll just kind of continue to hash that out and see the production there. I'd say, we're efficient in the throw game, and we'll just kind of look to keep building on that.
What's the key for Larry to kind of emerge more and more in the offense?
It is very much kind of an earned, you earn it through your production, through the results. And so he's had some things along the way, and at times he's had some stuff fall. His role's diminished, but he got a couple big opportunities this week, and he made the most of it. And we really, going back to like the identity of our offense and what we're best at, being a run first, it's also blocking in the run game. And so a lot of those big plays, explosive plays, RD's doing a great job out there. JJ was hustling, making stuff happen on Bird's long run. And Larry's been that guy in the run game. He's really done a nice job helping to block, which, man, helps our offense big time. And then anytime targets come your way, if you can get open and catch it, it's only going to allow your role to increase in the offense. So,
Jason Beck, offensive coordinator for the Utes. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to throw the ball around. When that question was asked about the quote-unquote throw game, I was like, don't worry about the throw game right now. You're getting 350 yards on the ground the last 2 games at home.
Yeah, don't complicate things.
So
do what you're doing well.
Let's here's the thing too. You talk about the trifecta of Coach Whittingham being happy. You're running the ball, number one. You're controlling the clock, number two. And then you're giving the best shot for your defense to just absolutely have that success that they've been having. And so you control every part of the game if the running attack is going. And Brendan Swartzby's not going to be able to get going on the Cincinnati side of things.
Limit his opportunities on the field.
Look, you don't want just keep the Cincinnati offense off the field, and you're going to get yourself. Look, here's the deal too. They had massive explosive plays last week against Colorado, right?
Yeah.
But part of it is that some of those explosive plays happened because of the defense. The special teams were working. They blocked a punt, right?
They blocked a punt.
They blocked a punt. They faked a punt.
And they faked a punt.
So,
everything was working perfectly.
So,
I've not seen Utah execute that way in a long, long time. And they've had some great execution over the years. That was incredible.
Cincinnati hasn't been beaten in the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks. And this is their most difficult test of the year. By far, so far.
It might be the most difficult test of the entire year.
And the Nebraska game was like, oh, shoot. They could have won that game.
But it wasn't
neutral
side. I know there was a lot of Nebraska
game.
fans there, but it was a neutral site game.
It was, but it's also a game that doesn't really count against you.
Right.
And so
they haven't lost since.
Ask Arizona State. Everybody at the beginning of the year was like, yeah, you lose to Mississippi State, you're fine. Now they've lost 3 games. And that's like we're not talking about Arizona State. We're not talking about Iowa State. What's wild is we're talking about Houston in the break more than we were talking about any of these other teams.
Because Houston's going to sneak into the Big 12 championship game.
They got the easiest freaking schedule the rest of the way.
Don't be shocked if Houston's in the Big 12 championship game and you're like, what?
You're right. Because they're playing UCF, West Virginia,
Baylor
and TCU.
That's it.
And look, Baylor and TCU aren't the Baylor and TCU we thought they were going to be before the season started. No. Now, here's the weird thing about the Big 12. They could lose all those games by 20 points. You know what I mean? I mean, the TCU and the Baylor game. It could happen, and it has happened.
And that's likely what is going to happen, but there is a path for them to make the Big 12 championship game right now. It's very realistic.
The difference is they don't have to play a team that's in front of them on the table.
No, they're not chasing it. Those
teams
are not chasing.
Right. And so
their only loss is to Texas Tech. So that's the only team in the top that would have a tiebreaker over them. They don't play BYU.
But if you're
they
Utah,
don't play Cincinnati.
If you're Utah, you're praying for them to lose 2 more games. Because if Utah wins out, which they very well could.
That's crazy. Houston didn't play Utah, BYU, or Cincinnati on their schedule.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
They got lucky there.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Arizona State to their credit. But as far as Utah goes, Utah fan, are you nervous about the Cincinnati game?
1,000% you should be.
Well,
but at the same time, no, I mean you should be because every game, everything's on the line now, right? Every game is a must-win the rest of the way to be able to be a part of this conversation. If you have any semblance of hope which there is some, because this conference is freaking nuts.
It is nuts. But let me throw a couple things out that should give Utah fans some comfort going into this. Not a guarantee, but some comfort. Utah's last 2 home games, they beat Arizona State 42-10 and Colorado 53-7. Arizona State was ranked at the time. Colorado was coming off a win over Iowa State. And they absolutely obliterated those teams in the dark at Rice Eccles Stadium. What's it going to be on Saturday?
You made it sound like the lights were all the way out.
In the dark. Well, the Utah's even wearing black uniforms on Saturday. You're really not going to see that rush coming.
They kick the ball off, the lights go out, and then you start punching them.
That's really what happens. That's how it felt. A couple more things. Utah's a 10.5-point favorite in this game. Cincinnati's 7-1, ranked ahead of Utah in the polls, undefeated in Big 12 play. Utah's a 10.5-point favorite. The ESPN analytics give Utah an 80.5% chance of winning this matchup.
80.5?
80.5.
Nice knowing you, Cincinnati.
That's like Texas against Texas State type prediction. That's nuts. Look, I have a lot of respect for Cincinnati. Just sharing these numbers with you because the numbers heavily favor Utah in this game. Can they back that up with their play on the field? We'll find out. But Utah fans should feel good going into this game about where Utah is at and their chances of winning this game. We'll see if this team can execute, but there has been some inconsistency with Utah this season. They're either lights out or they're like, what's wrong with these guys? And what's wrong with these guys has only happened twice against 2 top 15 teams.
Top 15? What about top 10? Hey, that's coming up next. Got the top 10 right around the corner.
That's called a segue.
Join us, won't you? Join us on our journey with the top 10 coming up next. We've got a bunch going on here. Bill Bender's going to join us at the top of the next hour. Talk a little bit of college football. Of course, he's from the Sporting News. Love having Bill on. Stay right here with us. More to go around the corner. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The Utes get set for another huge Big 12 game as they square off against Cincinnati. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. Appropriately themed music here. I found a top 10 that you'd never be able to get. We couldn't ever roll it out as a, like, hey, you guess these top 10s. Before I get to my official top 10, I wanted to roll this one out. Top zip codes for trick-or-treating.
The 801 better be there. Oh, zip code.
Zip codes.
Like 840.
Yeah, whatever, wherever it is that you live. Yeah. Across America. Now, this is based off of candy sales and what people spend per household in each kind of locale. Are you
including outdoor decorations?
No. This is just to get for the best trick-or-treating. Best candy. Okay? Best candy. Like they give out the best. They give out the most and the best. Okay? Top zip codes. Number 10 is Lancaster, California. Number 9 is Morristown, New Jersey. Number 8 is Garden City, New York. Number 7 is Beaumont, California. Chicago's 6. Fine. Weighing it at number 5 is Saratoga Springs, Utah.
Hey!
South Lake, Texas, number 4. Houston, Texas, number 3. I will say South Lake is like, that's like the rich right. part of, one of the rich parts of Dallas-Fort Worth area.
A lot of growth there.
Dallas, number 2. The number 1 place for candy score for the U.S. zip codes across the country is the humble 84043, which is Lehigh, Utah.
Hey. Saratoga Springs and Lehigh.
Yeah, listen. Does that mean people are busting their kids in? They're going, all right, we're going to work hard. I need 78 pounds of the best candy on the planet. Go, go, go. They start putting them out of the
I got a new name for northern Utah County.
What is it?
The Candy Belt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could eat a candy belt.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
I could eat a candy made of belt. I mean, a belt made of candy? What?
Make it happen.
All right. I do have in front of me the top 10 candies.
Ooh, a real top 10. All
Are you
right,
ready?
Here we go. Top 10 candies?
Quickly here, top 10 candies according to consumption, okay? Per pound consumption.
Okay.
Here we go. On your mark, get set, go.
Kit Kat, M&M's,
Ding, ding.
Twix,
Ding.
Snickers, Hershey bar, peanut butter cup.
Wait, did you say Hershey?
Yeah.
Ding. Peanut butter cup. Give me a brand.
Reese's.
There you go.
Is that all? Reese's Pieces?
No.
Nerds. Candy ropes.
Candy belts.
I got like a brown. Mounds. Almond Joy. Butterfinger. What?
Peach rings, Sour Patch.
What the heck? Who gives out peach rings? Sour Patch?
Whatchamacallit?
Whatchamacallit? No, but it should be given out.
I agree.
I love that freaking thing.
What else? What's left?
Do people give out paydays?
Take 5.
You guys are missing on some big ones.
Snickers? You said Snickers.
I did say Snickers. Milky
Snickers
Way.
is by the way, Snickers.
Milky Way. What?
Milky Way.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing? Big hunk?
You got it, big hunk.
Old fashioned?
What is this, a church dance?
My grandma liked big hunks.
Give me a big hunk.
My grandma always had big hunks.
Yeah, she did. What? All right, here's your top 10. I'm disappointed because you guys were just going all chocolate. Now you did say Annapolis. You said Sour Patch. Starburst 10.
Yeah.
Kit Kat 9. Candy corn is 8.
Barf.
Boo. Now again,
I'm
just
proud.
like, what
I'm
do people
proud I
give it?
didn't say
I know.
candy
Me
corn.
too.
I'll take a 9 out of 10.
Sour Patch, Hershey's, Twizzlers. I know. I don't like them either.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is a per pound thing. I think it's just they're in the bag, I think, or there's a bag of them, and people are giving them out. Tootsie Pops, number 4.
Yeah, I guess.
Regular M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, and then the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Yeah, shocker. No Snickers, no Butterfinger. Yeah.
That's an upset.
It's
No Snickers?
terrible.
Come on, that's not a real list.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Did you ask AI?
Hey, AI. They say here in the state of Utah, peanut M&Ms are they're giving out the most. No freaking way. No way.
People here do love their peanut M&Ms.
Okay, see, this is what's dumb. See, I'm looking at this list and it says Texas gives out Ferrero Rocher hazelnut chocolates. That's the number 1 candy. That's a lie. I told you who owns them or who owns Butterfinger.
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
It's not a hazelnut chocolate. They're giving out Butterfingers. That's number 1. Guaranteed. Guess who gives out the most candy corn?
Utah.
West Virginia, North Carolina, and Virginia. Bunch of idiots.
Hey, maybe it's all they can afford. Be kind.
Alaska, High Chew. Get out of here. All right. We'll take a break.
I do love High Chew, though.
Bill Bender's joining us next. It's a quality candy. Bill Bender joins us next. We're going to talk some college football. Stay with us right here, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a much-needed off week for the Cougars as they rest up for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us on the program. The more we talk about it, the more I'm convinced Cincinnati's in a real bad spot coming into Utah this weekend.
The analytics say so, yes.
We didn't really feel that way about the Texas Tech game.
No.
We wondered. But Cincinnati coming to Salt Lake City after Utah's put up 95 over the past 2 weeks at home. Crazy. We'll see, though. Lots to talk about in the world of college football. Our program, of course, is always brought to you by the good folks at Trajan Wealth this hour. Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Let's jump in right here with Bill Bender from Sporting News. He's going to give us some college football updates here. And, of course, it all starts here with The Cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Bill Bender, you can read his byline, Sporting News, and get all the updates on college football. Look, across the board, Bill, we're all guessing at this point about how this college football playoff is going to the first rankings next week. Of course, we got to get through week 10 first, but welcome to the program, man. How are you?
I'm right here.
There he is.
Sorry.
There he is. No, it's okay.
Hello.
Yep, now we got you. There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. I was going to say, what gives you guys in Utah? I picked them to win, but that's a good Cincinnati team coming in.
Oh, no doubt. We were actually, to be honest, we were shocked. The Vegas line's 10.5 for Utah.
That's a bit crazy.
ESPN's matchup predictor has Utah winning the game 80.5%. We were actually shocked by all that, too.
Yeah, I think both teams are playing really well. I do believe this is going to be one of the more intriguing games of the weekend because I've watched Cincinnati. Obviously, I live in Ohio, so I throw them on whenever I can. Brendan Sorsby's having a great year.
Yeah.
He had the one interception late against Nebraska. They got greedy in that game, but I've picked against them a couple times this year, and Iowa State's a great example. Then they just jumped on Iowa State, and they've passed every test so far in Big 12 play. You mentioned Utah and how hot the offense has been the last few weeks. I know there's some good SEC games on Saturday, but this one should be fun. It's worth staying. For me, I got to stay up super late, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, Utah loves playing at night, though, and the Utes are really, really good at night. And then when they wear the black unis, it's also kind of an added boost for them. But, I think the thing that's been interesting is that Utah, known for their defense, and obviously, Kyle Whittingham always has a defensive team dialed up, and Morgan Scalley is defensive coordinator. But Jason Beck's been a revelation for him here as an offensive coordinator in year one. They're leading the country in a lot of different categories in the offensive side of things. They're scoring a lot of points. They're getting a lot of yardage. And so when you look at a game like this and you see what the Big 12 has become, because these are just a couple of the teams that are in that insane race to try to get to the Big 12 championship game in Arlington. But who's the odds-on favorite for you out of this conference? Is it still just a world that everybody's living in with Texas Tech kind of leading this thing out? They have the one loss, and everybody knows this thing can get wild by the end of the season.
Yeah, they're still kind of my favorite, but if last year was any indication, you got 5 or 6 teams that could be in this mix. I mean, the thing about Texas Tech is, yes, they would be my pick as a favorite, but they have a tricky game on Saturday. Kansas State's not the Kansas State from September. They're playing a lot better. They've won, I believe, six in a row against Texas Tech, and they've had control of that series, and it's in Manhattan. So you said it. The Big 12 is living up to the Big 12 reputation of high-scoring offenses, minute finishes, those kind of things, and it should be a really fun race. Like I said, I'll take the Red Raiders, but we could do a draft and I'll be happy if you want.
Right now, you can go to the Sporting News and read what Bill Bender has to say about the college football playoff bracket projection for Week 10, and I'm looking it over, and it's interesting because everything changes week to week, and I encourage everybody to go read what you put together here because you got a lot of interesting thoughts. You only have one Big 12 team right now currently, and that is BYU, and that makes a lot of sense with the success they're having, being undefeated. What is the path for 2 Big 12 teams getting in? Can you see it happening?
I can. It would probably take a lot of ACC carnage. For example, this weekend, let's say Virginia Tech beats Louisville, and then Miami loses to SMU, and you get Georgia Tech could lose to NC State, and then these ACC teams kind of beat each other up to the point. Remember, Georgia Tech has to play Georgia too. So if you had a 2-loss or 3-loss ACC champion like they did last year, it's entirely possible. I think the SEC is going to have 4, and I've got a pretty good idea who the 4 are going to be. I'll call this shot now. I think Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M all look really good for the playoff. The only question is whether or not they squeeze in a Vanderbilt as a 5th team, if Vanderbilt can go out and beat Texas on Saturday, for example.
The way that Texas has played, I'm like, well, why not? I mean, like,
right.
And the way that Vanderbilt's been playing, like, I was the first to be like, yeah, right. Diego Pavia needs to shut up during the offseason. He's saying way too much, and yet they've backed it up the entire time. What's a bigger shock, Vanderbilt or Indiana right now? What these two teams are pulling off, both top 10. Obviously, Indiana's in a top 3 team, a top 2 team. But in terms of like historic, what we expect versus watching Vanderbilt and Indiana be at the top of tables is pretty wild.
I think shocking in 2 different ways. For me, like Indiana went to the playoff last year.
Right.
So it's not a shock they're good. Kind of a shock to me. They look like they're going out and mowing teams, and we're able to go out and win at Oregon. And I'm actually watching them thinking about, okay, what's this going to look like when they play Ohio State? Like matching it up and saying, oh, man, that might be a really fun game, as opposed to last year when I kind of knew Ohio State was going to beat them and be the better team.
Right.
Vanderbilt being the headliner every week is a stunner to me. Like they beat LSU. They were the better team. They hung with Alabama. They had turnovers. You just said it. They could beat Texas, and I wouldn't be stunned. And they have, and Diego Pavia, whether you love or hate that guy, he backs it up on the field, and they take a cue from him. There's no doubt that personality of that team runs through him.
We're watching this playoff thing shake out, but we're almost watching as much of the coaching carousel play out as well. That's been even more intriguing lately, especially after Brian Kelly getting fired at LSU. It's crazy how many openings there are at high-profile Power 4 programs. Of those openings, which one do you think is the best opening, and which one is the one you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole?
I still think LSU is the best opening. And by the way, covering coaches is its own separate beat at this point.
Seriously.
You have 8 Power 5 openings before November 1st, which each of the last 3 Saturdays I've spent writing about a fired coach from a major program. I do think LSU is still the best job. I didn't think the governor would get involved this week, but how wild that story
is.
Is
he ruining that job? Jeez.
That's a great point, because if you're a coach, and here's the 2, not just that one. That one's separate. Yeah, like, okay, what am I doing taking this job if the government, or if the governor, not the government, is going to interfere? And then Penn State, it's like, you're going to go take a job where they just fired a guy that won 70% of his games and in the college football playoff semifinals last year? I mean, that's a question I would ask if I was interviewing.
Yeah.
Be like, what if I have an 8-4 season? You going to fire me too? That kind of thing. So, but LSU, you're going to have top 5 recruiting class, top 10 recruiting class. You're going to have a really good base there. You're in the SEC. I mean, 3 of the last 4 guys won a national title there, and they all had different personalities, from Ed O to Nick Saban to Les Miles. So I still think that's the best job out there. And the worst, right now, it's probably this is debatable because it can change, but I'm wondering what Oklahoma State's going to be without Mike Gundy. I think whoever takes that job is going to have a larger remodel than what they probably think when they get to the door.
Wow.
Who's the best guy available out there? Is it just like, hey, James Franklin got absolutely, it was a weird fall off, right? But again, in the national semifinal last year. And by the way, like that's further than Penn State normally would go, right? And on top of it, it was pretty stark to see what his record was versus the top 10 AP opponents over his career. But at the same time, is he just the best candidate out there for teams like Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State? Like they should be beating that door down to figure out how to get a guy like that in their town, right?
I agree. And again, we can make whatever we want out of the record against top 10 teams and top 5 teams, but I'm not making excuses, but they were underdogs against better Ohio State teams in a lot of those games and better Michigan teams. Yeah, they lost a lot, and he's got to win a couple of those, but if you're Virginia Tech, you should be hiring him.
Well, by the way, you're going to have a losing record against top 5 AP opponents overall. I feel like, because they're typically going to be better teams than you anyway.
Right. And the other part is I always say, when we talk about coaches and their records against ranked teams, it generally comes from the same people who tell you polls don't matter. They only matter when we want to criticize coaches, I suppose. But I'm a proponent of the polls anyway. So, you make a great point there. But Virginia Tech, they should be calling him. If North Carolina were to move on from Belichick, wouldn't you call somebody like James Franklin?
Oh,
and be like,
first call.
I mean, right away. That's the first call.
No doubt about it. BYU, they're in a bye week this week. Perfect on the season. They've had to rally, it feels like, from every game, 14 down to win those games, but they are undefeated. They're atop the standings in the Big 12. You've got them in your college football playoff predictor right now. What are your thoughts on the Cougars and how sustainable this success is, and could they get to that college football playoff?
I mean, yeah, they can, and the big game against Texas Tech next week, obviously. But, it's very familiar. They've been there, done that. They were in the mix just like this last year. Bear Bachmeier, we get obsessed, the casual college football fan might see his number, but, man, he's a tough kid. He really is. The running game's strong. Their defense plays well. They take advantage of turnovers. And it's funny how we were just talking about how offensive the Big 10 is, or the Big 12. But that feels like a game where, Texas Tech and BYU, doesn't that feel like it's going to be like a 21-17 kind of grinded out kind of game between those two when they play?
Could be, for sure.
It's interesting, too, because as you watch how this thing plays out, and, I'm looking at our producer just sent us a flow chart of about 58 different versions of how this conference could end up. But Houston is one of those teams that has only lost one game in conference play. It's the Texas Tech, and they have arguably the easiest route on the way out of this thing. Teams like Houston, do they have a place in a college football playoff if they just kind of sneak their way in a season like this?
Connor Wigman's played really well.
Yeah.
Willie Fritz can coach, too. And I can't believe I've gone this far without saying something about how well they've played. It's an oversight by me. But it's funny you mentioned the flow chart. I'll start doing those next week. And I was really bad at Algebra 2 Trig in high school. And I feel like figuring out these tiebreakers is somehow harder sometimes. So it will be an interesting thing to see in the Big 12. Houston certainly has a stake in that. And I think the key has been Whitman. He's a former five-star guy. He's not turning the ball over at all. And they're just playing solid football. They got West Virginia this week. It's a big spread. The Mountaineers have struggled, obviously, in Rich Rod's first year. But Houston, they're just under the radar. And that win against Arizona State, it just kind of slid by everything that happened last weekend. But that was a big win for Willie Fritz.
Yeah, it was, and they've been impressive. Yeah, it's just really interesting atop the Big 12, and the league really wants to get that second team in, but one team that could blow that up for certain is if Notre Dame gets back in the mix. And we were talking about Notre Dame earlier in the show because if they get in the playoff, that obviously impacts the Big 12, could impact BYU, maybe Utah backdooring in. If Notre Dame wins out, are they really a lock, or is that something that people are just assuming, and maybe a deeper look needs to be made because of the schedule that they've been playing during this win streak? You know what? That's a great point, because when I was running through the 12, I've just kind of penciled them in because I think they will go 10-2, and at a 10-2, it'd be hard to leave Notre Dame out despite that schedule. They would probably argue, hey, we played Miami tough. We lost at the end to Texas A&M. Texas A&M probably in the playoff anyway. The game to circle with Notre Dame to me is Pitt. Pitt's playing really well. They've got good linebackers. They might be able to slow down the run a little bit. They've played better since they switched quarterbacks. And if they knock Notre Dame to 9-3, Notre Dame's out. And then that opens up all sorts of possibilities for the playoff and, for that fifth SEC team or that. I don't know that the Big Ten will get 4 in. I'm close to that conference. And, I think Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon are in. But then USC, Michigan, Nebraska, and Washington all look like they might have 3 losses at the end of the year. The one team to watch in the Big Ten, believe it or not, maybe they'll play Utah in the first round once and for all, and we can watch Iowa and Utah play.
And Iowa is looking like, if you look at their schedule, the path to 10 wins is there. And Kirk Ferentz, I mean, the man finds a way.
Yeah, right now they're 6-2, 4-1 in conference play. We haven't even thought about Iowa. They're not even ranked right now, but that's a good point.
I try not to think about Iowa. that's
a lot of people try not to think about Iowa because they think about punting when they do.
I know.
Well, if they can beat Oregon, which is next on the schedule, I think that would get a lot of people's attention.
That's wild.
And they would be able to follow that up with the USC game, so who knows?
Kirk Ferentz finding a way every year.
He's going to punt his way to the college football playoff.
Absolutely. Tight end his way to the college football playoff. Bill Bender, Sporting News, where you can find his byline. Bill, it's going to be flow chart season coming up here soon. So we'll hit you up in the next couple of weeks here when those things get going in earnest, and then we'll pick your brain on those as well. Thanks for hanging out, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks, Bill.
There you go. Bill Bender's awesome. Man, there are teams in every conference that you go, did you consider them? Like Iowa is, I don't know, it's almost insulting to call them the Houston of the Big Ten. I say that with all due respect to Houston, but they've been crap for
it's just
a long time.
They just haven't been in that conversation.
Basketball school.
Right.
But Iowa is just like this steady, like 9-3, 8-4 team. Good job. But, and they'll probably end up there too. The problem is that getting to the Big Ten championship game doesn't actually mean anything. Like, I mean,
it doesn't guarantee you anything.
It doesn't guarantee you
unless
anything.
You win it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is that, like,
just ask Iowa. They know they've been to the Big 12 championship game many times.
Right, and
it hasn't equaled a playoff.
And it was because they were like, yeah, we won this
They happen to be in the West Division.
We won this part of it.
Yeah. Now we have to play the real good teams.
Very different. And so,
we beat Wisconsin? ?
Man, those tough Nebraska teams in the mid-2000s were tough to get through.
Oh, yeah. In Minnesota? Oh, man.
Watch out for the Golden Goph. All right, we'll take a break.
They rolled their boat.
We'll come back. We've got more to go. When we return, we'll get you hooked up here with. We have any more tickets to give away, by the way? Just the one time. It was just for. All right, fine. It's fine. Hey, but on Friday, by the way, guess what we're doing? Giving away stuff. The KSL Sports Zone hooking you up with tickets to the Utah Cincinnati game coming up. All day tomorrow, every hour, there's going to be a Utah keyword. When you hear that, you text it to 57500, and that's going to enter you to get you in on those tickets to possibly win. All the details are at KSLSports.com. Go check it out right now. Utah versus Cincinnati tickets all day tomorrow on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. We'll come back. We've got our NFL Blitz next. Stay here at 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, man, get excited for this Thursday night game. It's going to be featuring, check some notes. Oh, yeah. Ravens at Dolphins.
Oh, boy.
Hey, but I will say this. I was reading an article today about how there have been 4 teams who have had the record that the Ravens do that have still made it to the NFL playoffs in the history of the league.
2 and 5 team has made it?
4 of them in the history of the league have made it.
Who are they?
I don't know, but that's less
Did you verify this info?
Well, yeah, because I was reading the articles. They were like, hey, 4 teams have made this, and the Ravens are looking to be one of them. And it's saying in the history of, like, that might have been from when they started off, because they were 1 and 4 first.
Oh, my gosh, you're right. I have the list right here.
Who is it? Tell me if it's anybody. Has anybody done it in the past 5 years?
Yes.
Have more than one done it in the past 5 years?
No.
In the past 5 years, the Bengals?
No.
No. Who is it?
2020. We all remember that year. The year without fans. COVID. The Washington football team.
Let me put it in quotes.
Yet to be named the Commanders, formerly the I will not say it on the radio. 2020 Washington team.
The Fighting Dan Snyders.
Made it to the playoffs. The Fighting Dan Snyders. Only 7 teams have done it since 1990 out of the 144 teams that started 2 and 5.
Okay, so not a great number. So the Ravens are going to try to do it. Did we know a status on is Jamar is what's his name? Lamar Jackson going to play?
Is that still up in the air?
I didn't know what the they were saying he was going to try to get back.
There you go.
Expected to start. Okay.
Yeah, he will be back. So that's verified.
If that's the case, then guess what? The fighting Tua Tagovailoas are not going to be
big tonight. Big on the Ravens.
Well, look, now they got to turn it up because I'll tell you a team that actually doesn't really care is the 2-6 Dolphins.
I'd love to see some Zach Wilson tonight. I hope he gets to that point. Wouldn't it be crazy if we saw Zach Wilson and Tyler Huntley tonight on Thursday Night Football?
What do you have to do to get to that, by the way? Oh, Zach Wilson and Tyler Huntley.
Throwback to 2019. What has to happen in order to see what?
to see Tyler Huntley call the Dolphins poo-poo tonight.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, Zach Wilson.
We ain't gonna lose to them.
I told you about Zach Wilson all those years ago. He's so poo-poo. Zach Wilson's like catching strays years later after that. This isn't the game that you love, but still, there you go.
It is a game, and we will watch it tonight because it is a game, because the NFL is king. But that is some craptastic teams facing off tonight.
Does what's his name bring his dog to the games here too? Herb Street, does he bring his dog?
He does. You don't like that, do you? Oh, you're going to be that guy. You're going to be the dog.
Do I like dogs? I love dogs.
Dog hater.
I love dogs.
He hates dogs.
I love dogs.
He hates your dog.
I think
he hates Herb Street's dog. He hates all dogs.
Listen,
Alex Kirry hates dogs.
Herb Street uses that dog as his own personal prop, and it's not fair to the dog.
Oh, you think he's exploiting the dog?
Oh, 1,000%. How long did it take him to move on from that dog? The other one who died.
You don't think he's paying that dog a living wage?
Listen, that dog is flying first class everywhere.
That dog has his own agent. Trust me, he's got his own
goes.
contract worked out. He's fine.
I'm just telling you.
He's being well compensated.
It took about 5 seconds for him to be like, this is my best friend. Anyway, I found my new best friend. Like that guy.
He moved on pretty quickly from that dog, didn't he?
It's because the dog has been used as a prop.
Geez, I wonder.
Just telling you. And by the way, you know who probably hates the hell out of that dog is Al Michaels. Get that freaking thing out of here.
Makes me want to eat a steak.
I mean, I can't verify it, but I think if somebody's going to roll his eyes about a dog being next to him in the booth,
feels like Al Michaels would be that guy, right?
Yeah,
Al Michaels hates dogs.
I would too, and just be like,
Google it.
That's nice. That's nice. Is he? All right, that's a good boy. Anyway,
you don't think Al Michaels takes dogs to Trefani's for sloppy steaks after a broadcast?
No, I do not.
Okay.
All right. Cardinals are facing off against the Cowboys. They are assuming that Kyler Murray is going to be back.
Do they want him back?
Well, they're preparing him to start.
The Cardinals have lost how many in a row?
Yeah, and the Cowboys aren't much better.
No.
Hey, but if you're going to get things ramped up on your offense, if you want to try it out against a team, it's the Cowboys.
No doubt.
They're one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the league. Maybe if you wouldn't have given away one of the best defensive players in the entire world, things have been going a little bit better for you.
Brilliant move, Jerry.
Hey, by the way, Kellen Moore says that Tyler Shuck, he's not just QB1 this week. He's going to be QB1 the rest of the way. They've seen enough of Spencer Rattler.
Until they draft his replacement.
Oh, yeah. No, 1,000%. But I'm just saying.
Next spring. What a disaster.
It is a mess.
New Orleans.
I feel bad for Kellen Moore because.
I feel bad for Taysom Hill. He deserves better.
Yeah, he's had a good run.
Free Taysom. Let him out of it.
Everybody's
Rashid Shaheed, too.
Just all the locals that we don't want to play for bad teams.
A lot of the guys from Utah on that roster. Terrell Burgess plays for the Saints.
Oh, that's right. Didn't
Nephi Sewell. Yeah, Devon Vele's there.
Nephi Sewell plays for the Saints now? I thought he was a Bear.
No, that's Noah's brother.
Oh, that's Noah. That's right. Oh,
you can't keep track of how many Sewells are on NFL rosters these days.
You got Penne, you got Noah.
If you don't have a Sewell, you can't win a Super Bowl title.
No. Well,
you gotta get a Sewell.
The Saints aren't going to do it. So there you go. Tyler Shuck, he's QB1 for the foreseeable future. Actually, that's a great strategy to be able to get yourself to the number one pick overall in the next year's draft, right?
That's exactly what the Saints are doing. But What college quarterback right now that's going to enter the draft is that guy? I don't think there's a – who do you want? Drew Aller? Cade Klubnik? There's not that elite quarterback prospect available in this year's draft. It's not a good year to be bad.
Carson Wentz, he's the one who says that he didn't take himself out of that game the other day when his shoulder was killing him. The season-ending shoulder injury, by the way.
I feel bad for Carson Wentz.
I do too, because that's a guy. Think about where things started.
Oh, my gosh.
You're at which Dakota State did he go to?
North Dakota State.
You go to North Dakota State University, and you are like, I mean, he skyrockets up those lists, right? And he gets drafted, and my heavens, he started out. I mean, he was going to be the league's MVP as a rookie, it felt like.
He was a starting quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team. The problem was he didn't get to play in that Super Bowl because he was injured.
And then Nick Foles shows up and goes, "You'll never remember who the starting quarterback of this season was beginning of the year because you'll remember what was the play they ran?
Philly special.
The Philly special. This guy beats Tom Brady. That's all he does over here. That's what you're going to remember."
That was the end of Carson Wentz in Philly, and then he's just been a backup ever since. The dude wants to play. I mean, he wanted to prove he could do it. He got a great opportunity with the Vikings, and it didn't work well because he got injured, and he kept trying to play hurt, and it got worse and worse and worse. And now the Vikings are not looking good. That's not a good football team right now.
The Vikings are taking a lot of heat because they're like, you kept that guy in the game. Like the league's looking at it going, What were you guys doing?
Well, who do they have behind him?
Nobody knows what J.J. McCarthy's deal is.
Isn't that weird?
Like he's
was he
over
hurt that bad?
Well, he's like over on the sideline. People are like, are you noticing him jumping up and down when they're like,
what's going on with
first
that?
downs? Like,
what is up with J.J. McCarthy?
Did you just pull a? Well, yeah, he's going to start this weekend because you got you got an arm falling off of Carson Wentz.
They're going to throw him out to the Lions.
They're
going to feed him to the Lions on Sunday.
He's out. JJ's out. We made it.
They're tossing him into the Lions.
It was a good run, but the dad jokes showed up in the third hour of the program.
I came in clutch.
Nice. All right. Did you say that because they're in Detroit and they make cars there?
Maybe.
Playing at Ford Field, they're coming in clutch. Huh? All right. We're taking a break. We got more to go. Unfortunately. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Best and worst on the program brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. American Fork, Spanish Fork, Linden. I was like, is that the list of best places to trick or treat in the country or whatever it was?
It's in the candy belt.
It's in the candy belt.
It's a new thing.
Candy belt that's a real thing, man. I'm telling you. Utah loves their candy. And we do. I'm telling you. When everybody came here and they're like, man, the Mormons, they don't all of the Dave Portnoy and all the people who came, and because it wasn't just that. Big Noon Kickoff came with like all these other like peripheral like national shows across the country showed up for this BYU Utah rivalry game, a couple weeks ago, and they're like, man, this is legitimately an awesome game. You don't know how awesome this game is, and nobody's drinking? That's crazy. They do eat a lot of candy, though. I'm worried about them. They're like, there's a lot of brownies and a lot of chocolate milk consumed by this people.
Sugar is the drug of choice in Utah.
1,000%.
But don't worry.
What?
It's been blessed.
I think you meant refreshments. That's not candy. It's refreshments, right? What's going on with that candy? That's nourishing and strengthening my body. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Lay off me, I'm starving.
All right. What do we have here? JJ, best and worst.
New uniforms for the Utah Jazz.
That's your best?
I didn't say it was my best.
Boy.
I just said it.
I'll start with the best, and that is that Matt Rule signs an extension to put the naysayers, put the haters to bed on this whole Penn State talk.
Why is that best?
Because I think it's nice that he's committing to the team.
I think it's nice that Nebraska's throwing away a bunch of money they didn't need to throw away.
I know.
You really thought Penn State was going to hire Matt Rule? And if they are, good. Go find a coach that's not mid.
Nebraska, I don't care who they hire. They're going to be mid for a while. It's just,
isn't it crazy? They're a blue blood.
I know. Well, can you lose? Can you get that? Can you get stripped of that title?
They don't take the national titles away. Sorry, they don't take the Heisman trophies
for sure.
away.
Tom Osborne's statue is going to be. Is there a statue? There should be. Either way, the bottom line is, you can't forget the things that they've done in the past. However,
Tom Osborne is still with us.
Oh, I know he's not dead, but I mean, you can still make a statue for the guy even while he's alive. Make it. I'm a big fan of Tom Osborne. Here's your statue while you're alive. Check it out, man. And it looks like one of those weird ones. You know, the Ronaldo one that looks like it's like got a lazy eye.
It's got chiclet teeth.
Anyway, so there you go.
There is a Tom Osborne statue already.
There better be. Come on. The Jazz have rolled out. This is another portion of our show. May or may not be part of the worst, but I don't know.
Make up your own mind if you think it's best or worst.
I'll just say this.
You're free to have your opinion.
The new City Edition jerseys for the Jazz have the gradient look to it. If you haven't looked at it, if you haven't checked it out, they have the mountain blue as the kind of trim around the neck and armpit area. And then it goes like so I guess what would it be at the top there? Kind of a slate gray, and then 6 different colors of, 50 Shades of Gray? Is that what we're calling this jersey?
A lot of women in the state will be familiar with that. No,
they're like beating the door down for this jersey.
I want that.
Give me is that Lowry Markkinen in the 50 Shades of Gray jersey? Let's go. You know what? New nickname for this jersey is 50 Shades of Gray. Come on.
Well, I have a different nickname.
What is it?
I did some research. It turns out that the color of the new City Edition uniforms is inversion gray.
This is what you picture when you
the Utah Jazz paying tribute to Salt Lake City's weather phenomenon. During most of the NBA regular season, visitors come to enjoy the soupy air.
They go, hey, listen, when I pull out of my driveway and look down into the valley, these are the different colors of gray that I see across the. I mean, these are the colors you see when you're praying for the wind to roll through or a snowstorm so that it can clear up. Here's the thing. We try all sorts of stuff. And you said it too. I go, man, I feel like that's not one I would want. That's not one I'd want. You know what I mean? However, they're not aiming for me, as David Locke would say.
Right.
They're looking for the kids, man. And that's fine. I get it. And by the way, the Jazz, if you look at all the other City Edition jerseys, a lot of other cities are coming up with a lot of other weird stuff for their jerseys too.
So the gray ones are whatever. They're gray.
It's light. It's light gray down to dark gray. You got it.
So my opinion on it is I'm not necessarily down on the gray. I would like to see the Jazz do 2 things with those City Edition jerseys. Bring back the black mode City Editions that are perfection with the gradient and then the black, which were awesome.
The red and yellow and orange, yeah.
Or just use the City Edition to use throwback jerseys like they did with the Maravich New Orleans.
Is that what you're doing? You're wearing the purple. You're wearing the old school purple Jazz shirt.
No, yeah.
Just to protest the.
If we're gonna have a City Edition jersey, let's go retro. Let's celebrate the past. Or, and they're doing this with the Salt Lake City Stars. Let's put the Jazz in a Utah Stars jersey from the early 70s.
Oh yeah, the old red, white, and blue.
I know it's not the same franchise.
That's cool though.
I get that. I don't care. Let's give a nod to the basketball in the past. This is a basketball-rich state with an incredible tradition. I want to see a Utah Stars jersey worn by the Utah Jazz at some point. Let's pay tribute to Ron Boone and his teammates from the 70s.
In the meantime, go check out Lowry Markkinen and his 50 Shades of Gray jersey right out there on KSLSports.com.
you're not allowed to see those jerseys.
All right.
It's a little too risque.
Let's
for
take a
you,
break.
Alex.
We got to come back. We got more to go around the corner. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.